Mind your head, sugar. The ceiling is low up here in the attic. And watch out for that nail sticking out of the beam. It is dusty up here, isn't it? You can see the dust motes dancing in the beam of sunlight coming through the round window. It smells like old paper, and dry wood, and time. But come over here, in the corner. Do you see this big wooden box? This is a cedar chest. My grandfather built it with his own hands in 1925. Run your hand over the lid. It is smooth now, but if you close your eyes, you can almost feel the sweat he put into sanding it. I want you to open it. Go ahead. It is heavy. Lift it up. Kriak. Oh, smell that? That is the smell of cedar wood and dried lavender sachets. It is the smell of preservation. And inside, wrapped in blue tissue paper, is the most valuable thing I own. No, it is not gold bars. It is not silver candlesticks. Lift it out gently. Use both hands. It is heavy, isn't it? Heavier than those fluffy polyester blankets you buy at the mall today. This, sugar, is a patchwork quilt. Spread it out on the old trunk. Let's look at it. It looks like a mess of colors to you, doesn't it? Hundreds of little triangles and squares. Red, blue, yellow, plaid, floral. All stitched together in a chaotic pattern. To the untrained eye, it looks like rags. And in a way, it is rags. This is what we call a scrap quilt. Back in the old days, specifically during the Depression in the 1930s, we did not have money to go to the fabric store and buy 10 yards of matching silk. We had nothing, but we had pride, and we had cold winters. So, we saved everything. Every time a shirt wore out, we cut the good parts out of the back. Every time a dress got too small, we snipped it up. Every time a baby outgrew a romper, into the scrap bag it went. My mama used to say, "May, use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without." This quilt is the definition of making it do. But look closer. Do not just look at the colors. Look at the fabric itself. Touch this red square right here. It feels rough, doesn't it? That is wool. Now touch this blue one next to it. It is soft and thin. That is cotton from a flour sack. This quilt is not just a blanket to keep you warm. It is a history book. It is a diary written in needle and thread. Every single square on this quilt represents a person who lived, and loved, and struggled in this family. Most of them are gone now. Their voices are silent. Their faces are fading from the photographs downstairs. But here, in this fabric, they are still alive. I can tell you exactly who they were, just by reading the patches. So, pull up that old milking stool. Sit down. I am going to read this quilt to you. And you need to listen. Because one day, when I am just a square on a quilt myself, you will have to tell these stories to your children. Let's start right here. In the center, you see this dark blue plaid square? The one that feels like flannel? Rub it between your thumb and finger. It is soft, almost fuzzy. That was your great-grandfather's work shirt. He wore that shirt to the sawmill every day for 5 years. I can still remember the smell of him when he came home. He smelled of fresh pine sawdust, tobacco smoke, and rain. He was a quiet man. He didn't say much. He expressed his love by working 12 hours a day to put food on the table. When the elbows wore through, Mama cut it up. She put his hard work right into the center of the quilt, to be the foundation. To keep us warm just like he did when he was alive. Now, look at this one. This bright yellow floral print with the tiny daisies. Oh, this one makes me smile. This was my Easter dress from 1952. I was 10 years old. I thought I was the prettiest girl in the county. I remember spinning around in the churchyard, watching the skirt flare out. I got grass stains on the hem that day. Mama was so mad. But looking at it now, I do not see the grass stains. I just see the sunshine of my childhood. I see a little girl who had no idea how hard life could be, spinning in the sun. And here, next to the yellow, this plain white square. It looks boring, right? It feels coarse, like burlap but softer. This is a feed sack. Back then, animal feed and flour came in cotton sacks. The companies knew that poor women were using the sacks to make clothes, so they started printing pretty patterns on them. But this one was plain. It reminds me of the hard years. The years when the crops failed. The years when we ate cornbread and beans for dinner every night. But we survived. That white square is a badge of honor. It says, we made it through. And this one, oh, this tiny pink square right here. This breaks my heart a little. This was from a baby blanket. My baby sister, Sarah, she only lived for 3 days. She was too small for this world. Mama cried for months. She cut up the blanket and stitched it in here. She said, now Sarah can sleep with us forever. She will never be cold again. You see, sugar? This is not just fabric. This is grief. This is joy. This is labor. This is survival. It is all stitched together. Because that is what life is. You cannot have the yellow Easter dress without the white feed sack. You cannot have the joy without the struggle. They are all pieced together, side by side. And the thread that holds them together? That is love. Strong, white, cotton thread. Look at the stitches. Look how tiny they are. Can you imagine the patience? Let me tell you about the hands that made this. My mama and my aunts made this quilt in the winter of 1955. I remember the Quilting Bee. That is what we called it. On Tuesday nights, the women from the church would come over. They would push the furniture back in the living room. They would set up the big wooden quilting frame. It took up the whole room. They would lower the oil lamps so they could see. And then, they would sit around the frame. 4 women on each side. They would talk, and laugh, and sing hymns. Rock of Ages, and Amazing Grace. Their voices would fill the house. But their hands, oh, their hands never stopped moving. Up and down, the needle going through 3 layers. The top, the cotton batting in the middle, and the backing. Do you know how hard it is to push a needle through 3 layers of fabric thousands of times? You need a thimble, a silver thimble on your middle finger. But even with a thimble, your fingers get sore. They get callous. Sometimes, the needle would slip. Ouch. A tiny drop of blood would bloom on the fingertip. Mama would quickly suck her finger so the blood wouldn't stain the quilt. But sometimes, if you look very, very closely, you might find a tiny rusty speck on the white cotton. That is not a stain, sugar. That is DNA. That is my mother's blood inside this quilt. Literally, they had a rule. They aimed for 12 stitches per inch. 12. Can you imagine? Look at your jeans. Look at the machine stitching. It is perfect. Even. Mechanical. Now look at these stitches. They are slightly uneven. Some are a little crooked. You can see where Aunt Betty started getting tired around midnight, because her stitches got a little wider. You can see where Mama was feeling energetic, because her stitches are tiny and tight. I love that. I love the imperfection. It proves it was made by humans, not robots. There is an old legend among quilters. They say, only God is perfect. So, when they made a quilt, they would purposely make one mistake. Just one. They would sew a blue square where a red one should be. Or they would twist a pattern the wrong way. It was called the humility block. It was their way of saying, we are human, we make mistakes, and that is okay. Can you find the mistake in this quilt? I have been looking for it for 40 years. I think it is right here, in this corner. This star pattern is tilted just a little bit to the left. Or maybe that was just an accident. But I like to think it was on purpose. It reminds me that we do not have to be perfect to be beautiful. We just have to be warm. We just have to hold together. The sun is going down now. The attic is getting dark. We should fold this up. But before we do, I want you to feel something. Stand up. I am going to wrap this quilt around your shoulders. Turn around. There. Pull it tight around you. Feel that weight? It is heavy, isn't it? It pushes down on your shoulders. It feels like a hug. A real, firm hug. Modern blankets. Those fleece things you buy at the store, they are light as air. You cannot even feel them. But a quilt like this, it grounds you. When you sleep under this, you sleep deep. You feel safe, because you are not sleeping alone. You are sleeping under your great-grandfather's work shirt. You are sleeping under my Easter dress. You are sleeping under the prayers that my mama whispered with every stitch she took. You are covered by your ancestors. They are literally shielding you from the cold draft. There were nights, sugar, when the storms were raging outside. When the wind was shaking the shutters and the power went out. I would lie in my bed, shivering. And Mama would come in. She would spread this quilt over me. And instantly, the fear would go away. It was like a magic shield. Nothing could hurt me when I was under the patchwork. I want you to take this quilt home with you today. No, do not argue with me. I have plenty of blankets. I have my electric heater. I will be fine. But you are young. You are out there in that cold world. You are living in a city full of strangers. You are staring at screens all day. You need this. You need something real. You need something that was made with slow hands in a fast world. Take it, but you have to promise me 3 things. First, never, ever put this in the washing machine. You hand wash it in the bathtub with mild soap, and you dry it flat on the grass on a sunny day. Second, if it tears, you mend it. You do not throw it away. You find a piece of your own shirt, maybe a piece of your favorite blue jeans, and you patch it. You add your own story to the history. Keep the story going. And third, when you are feeling lonely, or sad, or like nobody understands you, you wrap yourself up in this. You pull it up to your chin. And you remember that you come from a long line of tough, stubborn, loving people who survived hard times so you could be here. You are not alone, sugar. You never were. Now, help me fold it. Corner to corner. Smooth it out. Treat it with respect. There. Put it in your bag. Take it home. And sleep well tonight. Good night, sugar.